In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I started my own online business, the lessons I've learned on the journey, and how you can also start your online business using some of the lessons that I have learned personally. And so go ahead and grab yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, water, some popcorn, okay? Because you're gonna need these edibles for this video. Hey there, bosses, you're welcome to my channel. My name is G Nontra. If you're new here, on this channel, I give you tips, resources, and strategies on how to make a living online. I talk a lot about writing and how you can make a living with that. And so if that sounds like your cup of tea, you want to learn more, you want to know how you can make a living online and create freedom for yourself and your family, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell beside the subscribe button. All right, so back in 2012, it was just a year after I'd gotten married. I was in grad school, but we were broke. We didn't have a lot of money. There were bills coming in the mail that were late. There were, just different things that were going on that meant that our income wasn't able to cover all our expenses. So I began to think of ways to generate extra money so that we could have money to pay our bills. So that's how this whole journey started. And so I remember there was this one day, I think it was in the fall of 2012, I went to the lab because at that time I was a grad student getting my PhD in microbiology and immunology, which meant that I worked in a lab. And so I went to the lab to do some experiments, and as I was there, I was just kind of waiting for the experiment to run, and I was sitting at my computer and I began looking at Craigslist and looking to see if I could find maybe something extra that I could do for money. And to be honest, I wasn't looking for an extra job because I was in grad school. I was too busy to find an extra job. But perhaps if I could find a cleaning gig or something, because I had done that before while I was in college, where I was cleaning houses for money. So I just thought to myself that if I could do that, then, I'd have that extra money to support, to like buttress whatever income we had at the time. So I went on Craigslist, and when I went on Craigslist, I just began looking through the postings there, and somebody had advertised something about making, I think, $100 online every single day. So I was like, okay, so let me click through. And as a rule, I really avoided such headlines. I used to get a lot of spam emails that came into my mail. I even had people calling me say, do you want to make this much money, in 1 month? And I never really believed it, because if something is too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And most of the time, a lot of these things are scams. So I was like, no, I'm not going to pay attention to that. But that day, because I was looking for some way to make extra money, I was like, okay, let me click through this and see what they're talking about. So indeed, I clicked through, and it was somebody who was advertising something about affiliate marketing. I had never heard about affiliate marketing. This was a completely new world to me. So I was like, what is this? So I clicked through, and there was this guy on a video, and he was talking about how he was making, I think, $50 to $100 every single day from people clicking links on his website. And I was like, oh, but in order to learn how he was doing it, you had to pay him to learn to do this. So I was like, well, I don't have extra money, so I'm not gonna do that. And so because I am who I am, I decided that I'm gonna go on Google and research what affiliate marketing is. So I went on Google, typed in what is affiliate marketing, and this whole world of blogging and online business opened up to me in a way that is still impacting my life right now. So one of the very first videos I found, actually it was a video I found, a YouTube video, was from Lisa Irby. And Lisa Irby is still here on YouTube. She's an amazing entrepreneur. She's been an entrepreneur, I think a full-time entrepreneur, for about 14, 15 years. Don't take my word for it, but I know her YouTube channel has been around for about 12 years. It's been around since the very, very early days of YouTube. Really, she is one of the OGs here on YouTube. And so I began watching her videos, and she was talking about blogging and starting a WordPress website and starting, and putting affiliate links and Commission Junction and Google AdSense. I was like, what is this? this, and how come I don't know anything about this? And that's when I began to also discover people like Pat Flynn and John Lee Dumas and Amy Porterfield, and I began to realize that there was this whole world, this whole other world, where people were generating an income online, and they had been doing this even for years before I had found out. So I was like, okay, let me learn everything that I can about this. So I began to read a lot of blogs. I began to watch a lot of videos. I discovered podcasting. One of the podcasts that I discovered that I used to listen at the very beginning was Internet Business Mastery, their podcast. And then I got turned on to Pat Flynn's podcast. I began to listen to all these podcasts. And so I began my own blog. And so by 2013, I had started my own blog. It was a Christian blog. I was writing about what I was learning in my personal life, from my Bible, from, because that's the only thing I really knew apart from science and biology. Because I was thinking, okay, what can I start a blog around? And everybody says, start a blog around something that you know, or something you have some experience in. I was like, okay, I've been a Christian for a long time. So let me share, what I've learned in my Christian walk with people. So I started that blog. And so by 2014, so now we're about 2 years in, or maybe a year and a half into learning about online business and all that is to do, I started to make some money from online business. And it wasn't a whole lot, but it was $50 here, $100 here. It was some money. I never kept real records of it. I wish I had, but there was some money coming in, and I was really excited. I was like, okay, this thing is real. There is potential. Now I have to grow it. At this point, I had just had my little son, and he was still a baby. I remember when I was recording my first Udemy course, this little boy was still a baby. So sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night, for those of you that have had babies, and I'd be, feeding him, and then put him back to sleep, and put him in a little bassinet beside me as I worked on my computer. That was how hungry I was. That's how much I wanted this. Because I was like, if at some point this can replace my income, even as a scientist, this would be such a major blessing. So I was putting everything into learning about online business and then implementing. So that was when my first Udemy course came about. So by this point, I had learned quite a bit about online business. And I was like, okay, I want to begin to share my own experience about starting my own blog, generating traffic to it, building an email list. I want to share that experience. I had created my first Udemy course. I had started making some money off of it. I want to share that journey, because one of the other things I had learned, and I think I learned this from Michael Hyatt, was the fact that, one of the ways to start building authority or to build a blog is actually for you to take people on a journey with you. And I had seen Pat Flynn do that as he had started his income reports. And at the very, very beginning, if you go back to like Pat Flynn's old blog post, maybe 10 years back, his blog post, like the income reports were like 5,000, 10,000. And then later on, he began to blow up and was making like 50,000 a month, right? So I was like, okay, I want to take people on that journey with me of building, of everything I'm learning. So that's when I started my current blog, My Online Biz Journey. So I started that blog in July of 2014, but didn't really get serious with it until the beginning of 2015. That's when I began to see the traffic take off, because I was producing consistent content. And really, I will say it wasn't until the end of 2015 that I really began to see massive traffic. At this point, by the end of 2015, or let's say October of 2015, I was getting around 3,000 page views to my blog, and I had done that mostly through social media. So I was really, really proud of that particular achievement. So at this point, I was still not making a whole bunch of money. Like I said, $50 here, $100 here, but I wanted to start making at least $1,000 a month from my efforts online. So because I had, been using social media to build my blog, at that point, I think I had built my Twitter following to around 1,000 followers, just organically, just me posting and tweeting and retweeting stuff. I had built it to 1,000. I was also doing quite well on Pinterest. I actually was getting thousands of views on hundreds of views on a particular blog post just from Pinterest. And I began to see that I really I had a superpower when it came to social media. And so I was like, okay, why don't I become a social media manager? So I found my first client in October of 2015. When I was like, hey, I have a blog. I've grown it to 3,000 page views per month. All right. And, you know, and all of that has been done because I'm leveraging social media. And this lady was so impressed. She needed a social media manager. She's like, I'm going to give you my social media account and I'll pay you $300 per month to manage it. And so that's how I got started. And so once I did 1 month of work for her, she was so excited about the work I was doing for her that she recommended me to other people. And so within a span of about 3 months, I was already making like $1,200 a month from social media management. And at this point, if you want to learn more about social media management, I do have an ebook, which is going to be in the comments below. You can click on that link, or in the description below, click on that link to take a look at that book to learn how to become a social media manager. So as a social media manager from October of 2015, I did that all through 2016, but it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm kind of tired of social media. And if you know social media, the way that you build a following, the way that you get people to notice you is for you to consistently post on social media. So that meant I always had to come up with new content, new tweets, you know, everything. And it was enjoyable, definitely enjoyable. I loved it, but I realized I was beginning to get tired of it. And I was like, okay, what about this do I really enjoy? And the thing is that I love to write. I've always been a writer. Even as a little child, I wrote little books. I wrote like little short stories that nobody ever read, plays that nobody ever acted in. But I knew I had a gift for writing. So I was like, why don't I turn my writing? I was also writing for these clients, you know, who were my social media clients. I was also doing blog posts for them. So, and I enjoyed that part of it. So it's like, why don't I actually take freelance writing to the next level? I knew people who were freelance writing who had made it careers. So it's like, why can't I do that too? So at the end of 2016, I told my social media clients that I was no longer going to be doing social media. This meant I was going to let them go and I was going to transition into becoming a freelance writer primarily. And it was scary, right, guys, because I was about to let go of income. But I was also opening the door to income that I've been, you know, a career that I've had for almost like 2 years now, because I started really freelance writing in January of 2017. We're in February of 2019 and I'm still freelance writing and I still enjoy it. And so I was closing the door on something that was good, was profitable, but that which I wasn't really deriving joy from anymore. And I was turning to something that I've been doing for 2 years. So therein lies a lesson for all of us that sometimes you can be doing something and there's a part of your business that you no longer enjoy doing. I think you should give yourself permission to quit that thing so that you can focus on things that you do enjoy that still bring you income. It may mean that for the time being, you won't make money because now I was closing the door on this. I wasn't going to make money from that. I had to find new clients for my freelance writing business. And so that money wasn't going to come in anymore. But now I've made way more money as a writer than I made as a social media manager. And that's not to say that you make more money as a writer versus, no, that's not it. But you have to do something that you enjoy. And I definitely enjoy being a social media manager, but I realized after about a year that I was better off being a freelance writer. So like I said, being a freelance writer for the last 2 years has been a blessing. And you know, as I've been freelance writing, one of the things I've learned too is that writing or freelancing really is a great way for you to start making money. I think that when you first get started online, when nobody knows you, when you have no email subscribers, when nobody will buy your course, nobody will buy your ebook, one of the best things that you can do is offer a service. That could be social media, that could be writing, that could be app design, that could be web design, whatever you choose or whatever you're good at. However, all of these choices are linked to your ability to work. So if for some reason you're not feeling too great, you want to take a vacation or whatever, and you're not working, it means you're not earning. And, you know, I didn't want my whole income generating machine to be dependent on me actively being present in my business. I wanted it to get to a point where a substantial amount of money was coming from my digital products or affiliate sales and stuff like that passively. Yes, you have to do the work up front, but for years and years, you could be making money off of just one piece of content or, you know, one course or whatever. So I was like, okay, at the end of 2018, I began to think strategically about how I could sell more of my ebooks, of my digital products. Right now, I have two main digital products, which are the Social Media Manager ebook on how to become a social media manager, and also one that I called Endless Clients, where I show people how to get clients. I actually share the emails I've used in the past to get clients to say yes to me. So I began to think about how I could sell more of those, and I went to a video conference because at the beginning of 2018, I started getting serious with YouTube. I had been writing a blog for almost 3.5 years, and I felt that I wanted to have a video presence. I know some people have a blog and a podcast, some people have a YouTube channel and a podcast, but I wanted to have a video presence, and I actually really love video, which is why I'm still doing it a year into it. So I started YouTube, and I really wanted to learn more about video and video marketing. So I went to a video conference, which was Grow with Video Live with Sean Cannell. He is also the founder of Think Media and Video Influencers here on YouTube. Great creator. And so I went to his conference, and it was more than just a video conference. It really was a business conference. And there was a business tip that was shared during that conference that I applied to my email funnel. And because of that, I was able to increase the sale of my digital products by about 50% over the previous year. And I was super grateful for that. When I was actually crunching my numbers at the end of last year or the beginning of this year, I was amazed. I was like, wow, like I made this much money from digital product sales in 2018, and I'm looking forward to creating more digital products this year and using that same strategy in my email funnel to get more people to buy. And so I'm beginning to see that pay off. And once again, lesson that lies in here is invest in yourself as a business owner. You have to think about your online business as a real business. I see a lot of people that call themselves entrepreneurs, and they're just using that title. They're just using it because it sounds like a cool, hip title. But an entrepreneur who doesn't make money is a entrepreneur, and you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person that has a million ideas and is always posing but not actually generating income. Don't be a poser, bruh. And so that's where investing in yourself comes in. And so for me, going to that video business conference was an investment in Gertrude. It was an investment in myself, and it has paid off because I saw that one strategy that I learned from that conference. And that's the one thing I remember from the conference. I remember a few other things, but that was the one thing I really took away from the conference and implemented in my business. Has paid off for that money that I spent to go to the conference, and it's going to continue to pay off. You know, it's going to 10x that investment. So every time you make an investment in yourself, okay, and not just imbibing the knowledge, but actually applying the knowledge, here's what will happen. You are going to either double, triple, or even 10x your business because you took something from that investment and you are applying it. And so invest in yourself. That's all I can say. Whether it's books, whether it's physical conferences, whether it's online conferences, whether it is online courses, invest in your learning. I know a lot of people are sometimes wary of spending money on these things, but I tell you, if you spend the money and you don't implement, yes, it can be a waste of money. But if you spend the money and with the mind that you will implement everything that is taught to you, woo, I told you, it's just one tip I implemented, and that grew my revenue. So imagine if I took everything from the conference, my business could grow by 100x, who knows? So just think about that. Invest in yourself. Not all of us don't have the same resources, but you have something. Take that and invest in yourself and take your business forward. Fast forward to 2019, I'm now at a point in my business where I really want to scale my business. I did a recent video where I shared the truth about making money online and how much I made online last year. You can watch that video. Up until this point, I've made most of my income as side income. There was a point in 2018 where I wasn't working, and so that meant that I was running my business full time. So whichever way you're trying to do this, whether you're trying to do this as a side business or or a full-time thing, for me this year my goal is to take my income to a 5x level that I made last year, right? Is to make 5 times that amount. That's my upper level goal, which means that I may fall below that, right? But even if I get to 4x, that's great. And so that means I'm going to be creating more digital products. That means that I'm going to be investing in my learning some more. It also means I'm dipping my feet into self-publishing, and not just dipping my feet, I'm just dipping my whole body into self-publishing. And so I have a novel that I wrote during NaNoWriMo last year. I have that on Amazon already. I'm currently working on a book that I'm going to be launching in March or April this year, and it's all going to be about a mindset. It's going to be around the topic of mindset and how mindset really affects the money that you make in your business. And so that's a book that I'm going to be writing, and there are other projects that I'm working on. But self-publishing is definitely going to be a big area for me this year. Digital products are going to be a big area for me this year. Like I said, I'm trying to get to that point where freelancing is not the major source of my income, because when I'm away from my business, I don't want that to mean that I'm also cutting off money. All right. And so yes, I'm going to work on getting some new clients in my business. I have amazing clients right now. I'm going to work on getting some more clients in my business, but I'm really working hard on making sure that my passive income streams are also growing. Another thing I'm doing is also really working on the search engine optimization of my website. Like I said earlier, most of my traffic until this point has come from social media, especially like Pinterest. And Pinterest has been amazing for me. About 60% of my traffic on my website right now comes from Pinterest, and I get around 20,000, between 17 and 20,000 page views per month to my website. So that's super exciting for me. But I want to, once again, 5x that. I want to get to the 100K page view level. And so that means that I have to like level up with the content that I'm producing, number one, and also I have to focus on search engine optimization. Last time I looked, I'm about 6 to 10% on a monthly basis with people finding my website just through searching from Google. I want to up that. I want to increase that to like 20 or 25% or even 50% if that's is possible. So I'm working on that, because I think that the next level, getting to the next level, means leveling up when it comes to this kind of technical SEO and stuff like that. And so I'm working on that. So that's what I'm working on in my business right now. And I want you to think, wherever you are right now, to just, don't be overwhelmed with everything I've shared with you. I've shared basically 7 years worth of my story with you in just a few minutes, right? And it seems like, oh, how am I ever going to get there? I want to tell you this, time will pass anyway. So don't give yourself excuses. Don't, just look at big people, the people that are big in the space, and think, oh, she's doing it big, he's doing it big, and so I'm not at their level, I can't do this. Everybody started somewhere. Everybody started at where you are right now. Everybody started with 0. I started with 0 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I'm still growing it, right? The biggest people you see started with 0. Unless you're a celebrity or a household name already, everyone started, even they started at 0, started being unknown, and eventually became known. So just get started, invest in yourself, be patient, and work on always improving. So let me know what your biggest takeaway from this video was in the comments below. Let me know also, are you just getting started with online business? Where are you in your journey? Let me know below as well. And if you just want to say hi, just say hi as well, because I want to be able to say hello to you too.